This short Bible study tidbit is presented by Mary Alta, a member of New Hope Community Church.
There are two scriptures that, when seen side by side, seem to be contradictory. But we know that Scripture does not contradict itself, so let's look at them closer. The first is found in John 5:31-32, where Jesus says, "If I testify about myself, my testimony is not valid. There is another who testifies in my favor, and I know that his testimony about me is valid." The other is found in John 8:14, where Jesus says, "Even if I testify on my own behalf, my testimony is valid, for I know where I came from and where I am going." So what happened in between? Why is this not a contradiction? The answer is to be found in the context of the statements. In the first instance, Jesus is acknowledging the law, which says the testimony is not valid unless two or more testify to it. But notice that he opened his statement with the word "if." He is really saying that he is not the only witness in his favor. He is referring to his Father, but the Jews did not understand what he was saying. All they heard was, "My testimony is not valid." But Jesus had just been talking about how he could do nothing by himself, but only what his Father did. He was telling them of the close relationship he had with his Father, and that his Father entrusted him with all judgment. But that part of the conversation did not seem to register with them. They heard only what they wanted to hear. Even after Jesus reminded them that they themselves had sent to John the Baptist to hear his testimony concerning Jesus, and that John had testified to the truth, making John his second human witness, still the Jews did not get the connection. In the second instance, Jesus is responding to a charge of the Jews who say his testimony is not valid. After all, they had heard him say it himself. They used Jesus' own words against him. The response of Jesus begins with, "even if." Now Jesus is saying that even if he were the only witness, his testimony would be valid. Why? Because he knew who he was and where he had come from. He is not talking about the law now. He is talking about the fact that sometimes only one person knows the facts, and that being the case, he should be believed. He knows who he is, but they do not know it. At least, they do not believe it. Even after he has done so much to show them who he is, they choose not to believe he is who he says he is. They are stuck in the realm of the law. Jesus is in the realm of truth. Remember that he said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." But the Jews might as well be saying to him, "Don't confuse me with facts. I know what I know, and I believe what I believe, and nothing you say or do will change my mind." Jesus does not stop trying to show them the truth, however. He tells them in plain words, "I am the one who testifies for myself. My other witness is the Father who sent me." And their only response is, "Where is your Father?" Apparently, unless they see the other witness with their own eyes, they will not believe there is one. Again, they are thinking in human terms. To them, Jesus is just a man, so he must have a human father that can be produced as a witness if necessary, and yet Jesus does not produce him. That is because he is not speaking of his human father, but his heavenly one. That heavenly realm seems to be one with which the Jews are not familiar, even though they have studied the scriptures diligently. Those scriptures speak of Jesus. God lets it be known that his servant, his prophet, is coming. God even says when he will come, as the prophet Daniel makes clear. And even though the Jews knew he was coming, they could not make this man who spoke as he did be the one who was to come to deliver them. Again, they were thinking in human terms. Jesus did not come to deliver them physically. He came to deliver them spiritually. That seems to be something they did not think they needed. After all, they had the temple, God's house, and the Ark of the Covenant in the most holy place. And they had their sacrifices that they diligently observed. It is easy to get caught up in works, not faith alone. It is even easy to read or study and still miss the real message. That is why it is so important to keep Scripture in context, to follow along with what is happening, and not just read as if every time something is said, it means the same thing. Context rules. So remember that as you just keep reading. Thank you for spending this time with me. Have a blessed day.